Anyone can turn their song ideas into actual singles or even albums using the Focusrite Hitmaker expansion and a Focusrite audio interface. And in this video, we're going to check out what's available in the new Hitmaker expansion, plus I'll walk through a song that I created using Focusrite hardware and this Hitmaker expansion bundle, so you can check out what it all sounds like. I'm Zane, welcome to Audio Tech TV. I've included a link down in the description to Focusrite's website, so you can head over there and get any more information that you might want. And this video is sponsored by Focusrite. They make excellent, affordable audio interfaces that include a great bundle of software that will have you making music right out of the box. Now, let's check out the plugins that are available in this Hitmaker expansion. So here's a quick rundown of the plugins that you're going to get. Antares AutoTune Access, Brainworx BX Oberhausen Analog Synth, Brainworx BX Masterdesk, Brainworx BX Console Focusrite SC, Focusrite Red 2 and 3 plugin suite, Relab LX480 Essentials Reverb, Softube Marshall Silver Jubilee 2555 Amp Sim, XLN Audio Addictive keys, and you actually get to choose which instrument you want with that one. And then you also get the XLN Addictive Drums 2 Studio Rock Kit. Plus you also get 2 DAWs with this. You get Ableton Live Lite and Pro Tools First with the Focusrite Creative Pack, which includes some extra plugins and that sort of thing in Pro Tools First. Now let's check out this song that I created using the Focusrite Scarlett Solo audio interface and the Hitmaker expansion pack. Now, I used the audio interface for recording everything. I used the Focusrite CM25 microphone for recording the vocals and the acoustic guitar. And I used the headphones that are the Focusrite headphones that come with the Studio Pack bundle. And I use those for the mixing and the recording and everything. So everything is Focusrite that I used for this. Now, let's start with the first track, which is the acoustic guitar. And this is what that sounds like. And on this track, I have one plugin. It's the Brainworx BX Console Focusrite SC. And this is a channel strip plugin that's based on a Focusrite console. So you have your dynamics section here, you have a gate, and you have your EQ and filters and all that sort of thing. So it's your typical channel strip, but it sounds really nice. So let's just A/B this. You can hear a huge difference there. Let's put it in the mix right now, and then we'll A/B it in the mix. So you can really hear what it sounds like in the mix.
This is a time for friends to get together, wonder about stuff and talk about the weather. Hope it don't rain till Monday morning.
A big difference in the mix there. Now, I also want to point out that I have this sent to my Reverb B. So the acoustic guitar is panned to the left a little bit, and I have it sent all the way to my Reverb B, which is panned to the right. And on my Reverb B, I have the LX480 reverb that comes with the Hitmaker expansion. And this is based on the Lexicon 480 hardware reverb, which is like a legendary reverb. It's very simple to use. It comes with a bunch of presets in here as well to get you started, and you get this mix wet knob here, so you can put it on a bus, or you can also use it as an insert. So let's just A/B the acoustic guitar with this reverb on and off. So you can hear it takes it from the left and puts it into the right, but it's also a softer sound in the right. It's not as upfront, which allows other stuff to be there in the mix. And I also have it sent to my Reverb A. And I have pretty much everything sent to Reverb A except for the bass guitar. And on Reverb A, I also have another instance of the LX480 Reverb. So that's our reverb buses and our acoustic guitar. Now let's check out our bass guitar. And here's what that sounds like. Nothing too fancy there. And on my bass track, I have the Red 2 EQ and the Red 3 compressor. And those come with the Hitmaker expansion pack. I'm not doing a whole lot of gain reduction here. Just a little bit. And then the EQ is just used to shape it, take out some of the low end, just because I don't want it getting too muddy with all the other instruments I have in there. And that's our bass guitar. So let's move on to electric guitar now. And this is pretty cool because I have that Marshall Silver Jubilee 255 guitar amp sim. And let's listen to what that sounds like. Now this channel is just a little dirty. It's mostly clean. I'll show you what it also sounds like on a dirty guitar down here. It's an excellent guitar amp sim plugin if you're a guitar player and you're getting a Focusrite Scarlett Solo or 2i2 or whatever Focusrite audio interface and you're getting this pack with it, you are in for a treat because I plugged my guitar directly into the Focusrite Scarlett Solo using the instrument input and there was like no latency. I recorded with all of these effects on and I really didn't have any latency issues at all. It sounded great and I was able to keep time no problem. Now let's just go back up to that other electric guitar. So you can see I have just a channel EQ that's built into Ableton Live, another one of these Focusrite console plugins in there. So from there we'll go to our drums. And this is really cool too because these drums come with your Hitmaker expansion pack. So let's just give them a listen. You can see this is the Studio Rock Kit for Addictive Drums 2. It's a really nice sounding instrument plugin or drum plugin. And if you have a DAW that can handle multi-output instruments, you can use this as a multi-output instrument. And that way you can route your kick to its own track, your snare to its own track, and all of the drums to their own track and put effects on there however you want. It's a very nice plugin. Now, how I came up with this drum beat, I kind of cheated a little bit. I'll show you what we can do here. So we go into our Addictive Drums 2, and then we go to this beats section. And then in here, you can see we have all these different beats that we can choose from. So let's just click on one that says outro, and then I click play. That's pretty cool right there. So say I liked this one right here. All I have to do is drag, drop that in, and we have our beat. It's going to be synced up with our song's BPM. It's a very cool plugin. These drums are going to have you making songs very quickly, and you don't have to be a drummer or even know how to make a drum beat to use it. Really nice plugin right out of the box. So that's our drums, and you can see I have some more of that red EQ, the red compressor, and another red EQ on there for effects. Now let's look at another instrument that comes with this Hitmaker bundle. It is our synth instrument that we have in here. So this synth is the Brainworx BX Oberhausen synth. It's an excellent analog sounding synth, and we'll just give it a quick listen right now. And it's a very basic synth line that I have in there. But this synth comes with a lot of presets. You can see in here we have basses, bowed strings, brass, drums, flute, guitar, and so on. The one I'm using is a pad in here, but if we wanted, let's listen to a bass. Yeah, lots of great sounds in this synth, and it's kind of going to separate you from everybody who's using those same Vital synth and all those synths that everybody else is using. You get this cool analog synth with the Hitmaker expansion bundle. Very cool. So that's our synthesizer, and also on there I just have a chorus that comes with Ableton Live Lite. I also have another instance of the 480 Reverb and the Red 2 EQ. So that's it for all of our instruments that we have in there. Now let's look at vocals. All right, so let's just give it a listen in the mix so you can hear the vocal.
We smell like smoke, sometimes the kind you took. The whispers of conversations around, the smelling sounds of the campground.
So again, I recorded this vocal with this microphone here. It's the CM25 Mark III from the Focusrite Studio Pack. It came with this audio interface, these headphones, and the mic cable that's connected to it. Very nice studio pack, and the vocals sound decent. All right, so on my lead vocal track, I have Antares AutoTune, and this is something I've never really used before. I've had it in the past, and I've never really used it, but this was super easy to set up. For somebody who's never used AutoTune before, AutoTune access is super easy. You go in here, you choose the key, you choose what type of scale you want, and then you can just adjust these two things. So you have the retune speed. I set it to slow because I don't want it sounding like that T-Pain effect. And then we have humanize. So I set that to minimal, but we can try it with max. And I'll also show you what this sounds like different as well. But let's give this a listen so you can see what's going on with it.
This is a time for friends to get together, wonder about stuff and talk about the weather. I hope it don't rain.
All right, let's set this to fast and just see if it does that T-Pain effect thing.
This is a time for friends to get together, wonder about stuff and talk about the weather. I hope it don't rain.
All right, so it does do that. I'm going to put it back down to slow. And yeah, maybe if we set that to max, it wouldn't do it as bad. I'm not sure. That's it. That's all your settings with this plugin. And I did record with this plugin on the track, and there was no latency whatsoever. So you could use this in a live situation. There was no latency at all. It was very nice. So that is the AutoTune access. I also have another instance of the console, the Focusrite console channel strip on there. And I just want to show you A and B of that on the vocals.
This is a time for friends to get together, wonder about stuff and talk about the weather. I hope it don't rain.
It's a really nice plugin on vocals. I like that a lot. And then I just have a limiter that's built into Ableton Live Lite. And I have this delay that's also built into Ableton Live Lite. And you can see I have it set to mostly dry, only a little bit on there. So that's our lead vocal track, and the backing vocal track is basically the exact same thing. I just sang it again, slightly different, and I put a bit of different effects on there. So we have that console channel strip on there. I have a saturation, and this is the Softube saturation. It's free. And then I have this ping pong delay on there that's included with Ableton Live Lite. So we'll give this a listen now.
This is a time for friends to get together, wonder about stuff and talk about.
Sounds a little bit different. It's going to create some interest, and I have the volume of that a lot lower. It kind of creates this sort of stereo, almost chorus effect on there. So let's listen to everything all together.
This is a time for friends to get together, wonder about stuff and talk about the weather. Hope it don't rain till Monday morning.
And one last thing, we have our master track, and on the master track, we have the Brainworx BX Masterdesk. And if you're afraid of putting something on your master track or doing mastering, this plugin makes it pretty easy. You have 4 compressor presets here. So 1 is the most aggressive, and then 2 is a little less aggressive, 3 is a lot less aggressive, and then 4 is really not aggressive, but it's still going to compress a little bit. And then you have volume. Foundation is your low end, so you want to adjust your low end first, get that set up. You have your comp mix, so you can adjust how much of the compression you want mixed into your final output. The THD is like an analog setting, so this is how much analog kind of sound you want in there. Then you just have your basic EQ along the bottom here. You have some mid-side controls. And over here you have some filters, and then you can link your compressor so it's in stereo. So if something triggers the compressor on the left, it's also going to trigger it on the right, regardless of what's happening on the right. That's what linking does. And then you have this turbo limiter mode, and they say not to use that unless you're going for some real heavy, like electronic sounds where you want some heavy limiting happening in there. But really, you probably won't be using that too much unless that's the type of music that you make. And that's our master. So let's listen to that on and off.
This is a time for friends to get together, wonder about stuff and talk about the weather. Hope it don't rain till Monday morning.
You can hear it thickens up the mix, and I used a little bit of this width here so it widens it as well. Just makes it sound a lot nicer. And that's the BX Masterdesk, now included with the Hitmaker expansion pack, which is included with your Focusrite audio interface if you register it from October 1st, 2021 and on. So if you recently registered it, go back to your Focusrite account and you should have these plugins there. And if you're looking for an audio interface, the Focusrite Scarlett series, you can't go wrong with it. They sound great. They've got nice mic preamps in there and converters, and they're very affordable audio interfaces for what you get. Now, if you want to check out the full review that I did of this studio pack, you can click the video on the screen right now. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. For Audio Tech TV, I'm Zane. Keep creating, and we'll talk soon.